six-pack and nothing to do. I got a six-pack and I don't need you.
I drink. I haven't been drinking. That would be a different confession if I was like, you look like the sun! Just a horrible, horrible show for all. But here's the confession part. I like to drink by myself sometimes. I live alone. I come home and have a cocktail hanging out with myself, and I love it. Why are so many people act like drinking always needs a witness? There's a bad way and a good way to drink alone. Just like there's a bad way and a good way to drink in public. You can't be like in your kitchen just like, Jaeger bombs! Also, the booze at my house, I'll tell you something about the booze at my house. It's free. Free of charge. If you lived in a pizzeria, would you go out to get pizza? If you lived in a noodle factory, would you send out for noodles? If I make another stupid analogy, will you understand my point? Drinking at home's the best. I just plain don't want other people to see me drunk. A bunch of spectators standing around watching as I forget basic vocabulary and try to control my equilibrium. Just like, look, top heavy almost fell over trying to pick up that cigarette machine. Being home alone drunk just makes my night at home way better. Suddenly that Boy Meets World DVD is hilarious. Just me, a little sip of rye, Topanga, talking back to the TV like, I don't care what anybody says, you're the best savage, brother. Let the world have Fred. I'm a Ben guy all the way. Crying a little bit for no reason. But here's the best part of drinking at home, all by your lonesome. You don't need to know the bartender. You are the bartender. He knows just how you like it, and he gives the best hand jobs.
What do you guys give me if I kill that bird? Barbara, that's a bald eagle. Get away, Baldy! Yeah! Packed house tonight, Pete. You're listening to The Wort on Gubs Radio. Phone number here, 516-465-3990. I'm coming in hot, like it's second break kind of entrance there.
It is hot.
Well, okay, yeah, it was kind of hot. I apologize. In the studio today, Sarah from the Brewers Collective.
Hello.
She's here.
Yes,
Welcome.
I made it.
I don't want to say it's the first female in studio, but it's a very rarity that we do have females in the studio. We have Mike, and we have Chris. Chris? Yes, I got the names right. And a quick introduction as I came in, and we were busy getting the studio set up. How's everybody doing tonight? Pete, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy there's alcohol here. Work sucked, and I'm ready to be here and drink and talk about beer.
Everyone on GubsRadio.com listening in, you can go over to our YouTube page. We are streaming the show live on YouTube today. We're going to try to do the entire show because we got an Ethernet cable, and it will stream the whole thing without delay or problems.
Hooray.
Right now, what I did notice is we're doing a camera in camera because we have two cameras in here today, and I'm covering Chris's head. I apologize. He's ducked down.
We're staring at your mic and not you.
Yeah, and really, like, the corner of the screen over here is just my head. So I brought a hat today so I didn't look like I was going bald, the lights and everything. It's true. Yeah, so we're in
You don't have to feel
I'm very
out
bald.
of
Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, New York, streaming live on YouTube, streaming our audio on GubsRadio.com. And again, check out all of our previous podcasts on our YouTube page. Right now, we don't really have a RSS feed set up, but that's soon to come, and soon to come to iTunes with all the other shows here at Gubs Radio. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and any of those who join us later, we'll appreciate you ahead of time.
Sure.
I'm going to try to use the word appreciate
yeah.
a lot less tonight.
That would be
But
great.
that'll be hopefully the one and only time I do it.
Everyone would appreciate it.
Shut up. Listen, I'm going to find something you say, and I'm just going to dig it into the ground. Yup.
It's probably
that's
It's probably the F-bomb.
well, then we're all going to say it, so it doesn't make a difference.
Should we just get it out now?
Yeah, you could. Absolutely.
Hey, all right.
And that gets me all my bleeps I have to do later up out of the way.
Sweet.
And then we can move forward from there. So, Sarah, thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having us.
So, I didn't get the time this week to read a very large bio on you. All I know of you is from your Instagram and kind of what we discussed right before the show.
Okay.
So, why don't you give us a little background on yourself, and then transfer that into the Brewers Collective, and let's hear a lot about that tonight.
All right, cool. So I'm one of the 6 founders and members of the Brewers Collective. I'm a native Long Islander. I grew up in East Islip and went to East Islip High School. And then I went to SUNY Albany, so I've been a New York girl my whole life. And when I went to school, not for any beer-related things, but I was an information science and policy major.
Oh,
and
wow.
a computer science and sociology minor.
So, you kind of knew what we were doing around here a little bit.
A little bit, yeah,
All
a little
right.
bit. I was, just taking it all in. It was good. I'm a little out of practice now, but
All right.
and I translated that into a short career in pharmaceuticals previous to
Legal or illegal?
Oh, legal, very legal.
Sometimes in the studio, that turns into a whole other conversation that we're used to.
But I did that for a little bit, and then I left that once I started my family, and I am a proud mom of two little ladies, and I've been home with them for a couple of years.
Pete can.
Yep, two girls.
2 girls, yep, same.
Yep, they're a
yep.
goddamn handful.
Oh, absolutely. They're getting locked in ivory towers, and we'll let them down when they're 22 to 25.
Yeah. Yep.
That's my
Yep.
plan.
That's about right.
Yeah. So,
On the other hand, I'm going to let my son spray in everywhere.
oh my.
And it took a weird turn early tonight.
Like, right away.
Now.
Listen, I'm getting it out of there. Might as well just let it all air out tonight.
And I'm keeping your son away from my
Yes.
phone. All right.
Yes, we're in 2 different districts, so I think we'll be all right.
Nice. I guess my husband Tim, we've been together since we were 19. We're together 17 years.
Oh, high school
This
sweethearts.
year. Yeah. Well, technically
Kinda,
college sweethearts, whatever. But I've had a crush on him since 8th grade. But that's
Oh, there you
another
go.
story. Yeah.
From the same town and went to the same high school and
Yes,
everything?
Really,
all right, there
yes,
you go.
we
Wow.
did.
He
Yeah.
didn't stand a chance. She had that locked in, radar set.
Seriously.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like,
He
this
was
guy's
done.
early age.
Yeah.
He was done. Never a chance.
That's right. And he looked just like Kurt Cobain, so I mean, come on.
Nice.
Not anymore. Now he's just
Oh.
a large Viking man with an orange beard. It's no complaints here. Anyway, but and it's all his fault that I'm into beer and into brewing and in the Brewers Collective and all that. But yeah, I guess. I don't know. When we talk about the Brewers Collective, yeah.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
we'll go around the
We'll
room
go,
here a
yes,
little
just
bit
go
and
around
see what we
the
have
round
for
table.
our buddy Mike here. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you
Hey,
doing?
we'll go like this.
They call me Stretch.
Stretch.
Yes.
Yes.
I used to be called that. I was tall, lanky, skinny. You're tall. What are you, 6'3"?
6'6".
Well, holy shit.
Yeah.
I was sitting down when he came in. I'm like, yeah, he's all right. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I hit my head more times
Slim,
than
yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
I can. Well, Pete too. What are you, 6'2"?
So we have 20-foot
No,
ceilings in the
six-
brewery.
6'1".
Yeah.
No, you're my height, aren't you?
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Then you're
Close.
taller.
Yeah, well, maybe a little bit. 6'6" is pretty tall.
Yeah.
That's
See, when you,
sports.
yeah, I used to play basketball.
There
but
you go.
Now I just play with beer.
So what's your role here, Mike? What do you do for
I'm
everyone?
I'm a little bit of everything
Nice.
at the brewery. Yeah, from brewing to
Okay.
building out the place.
Okay.
And, yep.
So Pete was at the brewery this past weekend.
Yep. Went down Friday night.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There was a band. There was a food truck.
Hell yeah, that was
It's pretty
a good
freaking cool. It was awesome.
night. Blues
So
band.
I saw a little bit of the live feed. I think it was that night,
yes,
right? They did an Instagram live feed that night.
That was me.
Oh, it was you. Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know that. I was at work. I work at a bar on Friday nights, and I saw it pop up, and I went, oh, so I wanted to see if Pete was going to be in the live feed. I didn't get to see it. It might
Oh,
have been
thank goodness.
Before or after you
Makes
were
me
in there.
uncomfortable.
I think I did the
You
live
can't
feed
control it now,
shortly
you're
after
right.
you left,
I
I
know.
think, yeah.
Yeah. So I've never been, and I was disappointed I couldn't go because Pete was, and then we couldn't make something happen on Saturday,
Yeah.
and so we really wanted to get in there before
Adulting gets in the way.
right, and all the sports and running around and nonsense. So from what I saw, though, you had a live
We
musician.
did. Yeah, we try to
playing.
have live music as often as possible.
There was a bunch of dates on the board, like
Oh,
food
yeah.
trucks,
Oh, we're full.
bands
We're
there.
booked for
Like
the next 2 months.
yeah,
Nice.
Everything
It
going
was awesome.
on. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it looked like a good scene. I like
big
the
place.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like the size because some are
Including
a little.
our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is that
Yeah,
coming
was
up?
it,
Our birthday
couple-
party is May
next month,
12th.
right?
May
That's
12th.
Yeah,
yeah.
12th.
1 o'clock.
Is that
Actually,
after
the
Beer Week?
15th of April
It's
is
the
our
it's the
first.
kickoff of Craft Beer Week. It's the
Holy
second
balls.
day. So
Good
There
times.
you go.
Good times.
What's May 12th? Is that
Saturday.
Saturday.
All day.
Saturdays are
All
good.
One
day.
till you fall down.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I got to do some parenting at one point in that 24-hour span, so I'll shift
try
some
from,
weight
like,
somewhere.
midnight.
I'm
till
already thinking
12.
of like, well, I don't think I have anything that weekend, and now I definitely don't have anything that weekend.
I
There's a
plan
birthday
not to
party on
parent
Brewery.
for 2 days.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
No, that's cool. I mean, like I said, I like the layout of the place, nice and big, sprawling. You got benches, you got area for the live band, and does it get a little crazy when some bands come in?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we haven't had like any like thrash metal bands or like.
No, I
anything,
mean, but,
you
like-
know.
When are they showing up?
Well, at some point, I'm telling you.
Crowded?
We got a little-
Crowded wise?
Yeah. I mean, like dance floor wise, I guess.
It fills up, but
Yeah.
it never feels crowded there. It's
Right.
2,000 square feet of brewery.
Wow.
you know,
It's a big
tasting room.
space.
tasting room. Yeah.
Yeah. it's
So
a
then,
large
right
space.
behind because the bar is here when you're walking on the right, correct? Right behind the bars,
Adjacent to
where
that is the brewing
is the brewing
area,
area,
which
okay.
is another 2,400 square feet.
wow. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
just as big, if not a
yeah,
little bigger.
a little bit bigger.
Wow.
Correct.
So what do you guys have for equipment over there? We usually don't go too deep into equipment, but
Yeah.
not?
Well,
run us down the specs.
Yeah. Well, it's a little small for where we're at right now because we just moved from in the same building. We just expanded. So
Okay.
we were 1,200 square feet, right? And
Just
now
over 1,200
just over
square
1,200. So we
With a 400 square foot tasting room.
yes. And
So
now
it
we're
was
2,000.
smaller.
We
Yes.
opened up a year ago our tasting room
Okay.
on April 15th, and obviously we outgrew
Double,
it
yeah.
in a quick way. So
That's awesome.
We decided, 2,000 feet would host our friends and family.
Absolutely.
a little
Forever
better.
Brewery now.
And I
So,
mean,
yeah.
family meaning all of our friends.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which
It
is,
definitely holds enough. Like I said,
Yeah.
I saw the nice, space that you had there, and I very much like having a little room to roam.
Oh, it's nice,
Especially when
and it's
you're
20-foot ceilings too, so you don't ever
Yeah.
feel
Yes.
cramped, and it's nice
Yep.
breezes
Yep.
coming down. But yeah, no, we're a 3-barrel system. We're an electric system, it's stout. We have a couple of barrels and a couple of 1-barrel unis that we have for
Okay.
some
We
special
just picked
editions
up
that
a
are coming.
couple uni tanks that we're gonna do a IPA program with.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna start that.
So it's
up
gonna be
this
like a
week.
recurring series of
Yes.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah, of
Straight to
different.
cans, all
Yeah,
that.
so
Nice.
this way we can control,
Just that's
right.
yeah.
Smaller batches.
Okay.
Get them out quicker.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we're hoping to, because 3 barrels is roughly like 92 gallons or so and we brew twice a week. So
Wow.
we're just making the demand in our tasting room, and really not quite because we have a good amount of, and I'm sure you saw a good
There were a
amount
lot of
guest
taps to fill there.
A lot of 24 taps. So yeah, and we have some of our buddies on the island. Brewery friends that have hooked us up with some really
Yeah.
great kegs to
Yeah, there
kind of
was,
get us through this
Fire Island I saw on the
transition.
board.
Fire Island, Great South
Aldo
Bay,
Fago, yep, Great South Bay,
Lithology, and
St. James,
St.
and,
James.
Mustache Brewing, and Mustache actually had kicked I think the day before you got there. They're going to be on this coming
James.
week.
Yeah, James Wort, I think, kicked before I got
Oh,
there.
St. James, yeah, St.
Yes,
James did, yeah.
yeah,
What did they have on there? The double, the triple?
Oh no, the apple palm.
Ooh, I didn't
Yeah.
get that one yet. I haven't had
It
that
was
one yet.
delicious.
Delicious.
8%.
Do we have the double? Did you and I have the
Triple.
double? We had the triple.
Oh, the triple's
That was
nice
good.
Too.
Ooh,
That
yeah,
was
it
really
was.
good.
Yeah, we just picked up the wheat beer from them, the Rochelle Blanche.
Cool.
It's going to come on.
Yeah, they do a great job with those. You would really, we should go out there. That's an
Yes.
easy one.
Well,
Holbrook
and
area.
you got the 3 of
St.
them right
James area.
in a row, which is nice.
Yeah. They're all right in that area. The 1940s and
Oh,
then,
yeah, yeah.
Spider
And
Bite.
Spider Bite.
Squareheads.
And then Squarehead's opening, yeah.
Squarehead's
Oh, that's right,
opening
Squarehead's
up
opening.
also,
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
think on
Yep.
420 they're opening.
Yeah,
right?
on
So
420.
many damn breweries
Soft
now.
opening.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I love it. Love it.
They're like little hot spots, That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a little
Love it.
central hot spot there.
Hive mind,
Just
I like it.
outside of Patchogue, obviously if you're up there, you can kind of, I guess filter your stuff into that huge. I was in Patchogue for Saturday night. That's where I
okay.
was, and it was crazy. But there's so many new restaurants and bars there, all looking for their unique lineup
Yep.
of draft systems. So that's awesome. Let me ask you a question because the way you're speaking, you guys all seem to be very collaborative. How did this all start?
Okay, it's a little bit of a long story. And
that's fine. We have 3 hours.
3 hours, okay. All right.
Spread it out.
Just long enough. All right. Well, okay, so the Brewers Collective started actually right around 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're about 11 years, I guess, in concept now. But we started off as a homebrew club. It was just me and a bunch of dudes hanging out, brewing beer. My husband Tim is sort of the glue of the Brewers Collective in the sense that it was all people that he knew that brewed.
Okay.
And we brought it together because we started home brewing, I guess we were about 21 maybe 22. We went and got like our first kit from Arbor Wine and Islip, and I think we made a Dunkel for some weird reason because we were like, oh, well, let's challenge ourselves.
Because Dunkels are delicious.
Yeah, well, they are delicious. That's true. But so we started brewing. It was me and Tim and our friend Matt. We used to call ourselves the TMS Brewing Company. And so we, it's just I was the beer guardian. I'm like, guys, that's boiling over, and Mom's gonna kill us, So because like everyone else, like you brew inside first. You learn your lesson quickly that you can't do that inside because you're gonna ruin your parents' kitchen or your kitchen. And so then we quickly moved out to the deck and the driveway and had our own. Because once you get one cool piece of brewing equipment, homebrew equipment, you want to get the next cool piece, and
move
so
to the
on
garage,
so
and then right out onto the lawn, and then eventually you need a shed. And
yes, the brew shed. Yes,
you need the brew shed.
So we were brewing for a while, and then when Tim got his most current job, actually he's actually still there now. There was a bunch of people that brewed there already. Like this guy, Joe Valla, one of our founders, he made this pumpkin beer, and it was like he used to like sell a couple bottles of it around like fall season. And Tim's like, man, this is delicious. Like I gotta make my own pumpkin beer. And
Where was he selling it to? Was it just
just kind of like just to everyone
knocking
that was
on
working
doors
there.
like Girl Scout
No,
cookies?
no,
No,
to
to
his
his
buddies.
buddies and
Just to
stuff.
his buddies. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
he,
all right.
because he was known for it because his recipe was delicious. And then that sort of we started sort of sharing ideas and.
Did he rim the glasses?
Oh God,
Like,
no!
that's
No
not a
rim, no
pumpkin
rim
beer.
jobs at the Brewers Collective.
No,
No.
we do actual pumpkin at the
Yes,
Brewers
yeah,
Collective.
real pumpkin. Yeah,
Yeah,
if
I
you
go
need
out
a rim
and
job,
pick
you're
it.
doing it wrong.
I go out and pick the pumpkin myself.
No, he really does.
Yeah, no, for real.
No, but yeah.
I
So
like doing the foraging.
you're a forager. But so we
That's the
we
good
were
stuff.
brewing, and
Yes.
then we met up
That's
with a
what
couple.
makes it
Do you get a
the
stick
best
and just
part
poke
of it.
at him like that's not one? That's not
No,
one.
no, I kick them.
Nice.
Yeah, my
What
foot
makes
goes
it
in them, they're not
Because
good.
it's not good. Takes off a little bit. Now we're talking.
If
Get
it,
that guy.
if it hurts, it's no good either.
Move on.
It's got a dent a little bit.
Just the right amount of give to the boot.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So we were so a bunch of different homebrewers came together, and at work they'd all be talking about brewing and stuff. And this one guy who's part of his family was part of that brewery in Brooklyn. I forget the actual name, the one that we had the beer
Not Brooklyn
tray of.
Brewery.
Not Brooklyn Brewery. No.
Piers.
Peels. It became Peels, but prior to that, it was
Yeah.
whatever. The guy came from a beer family, and he's like, look at you guys. You're like you're a collective. And then Joe was like, yeah, we're the Brewers Collective, and he first spoke the words, and they kind of stuck. We're like, yeah, we like that, Brewers Collective. So we had a few members, and at one point I think we were almost like 12 or 13 members, and we would brew. There were a few homebrew clubs on the island, and like we weren't like that into it that we wanted to be like formally part of a club. We kind of wanted to do our own thing, just brew some beer. And we had like this we have a mug that we would have like for our quarterly competitions. We'd pick a style for the fall, for the spring, for the summer. We'd all brew it. We'd get all our friends together at one of our houses, and we would blind test and and you would have fill out score sheets and stuff, and and then there would be like real winners, and it was a lot of bragging rights, and that went on for like a really long time. We all just upgraded our stuff and just got into it more, but we always did it. It never stopped. And then we would do like big homebrew day, like Blue Point used to host that.
Yeah,
They still do, I think. And so we would go there, and we got to know a couple of the brewers there. So one year we were like, hey, so do you think that we could maybe pour at like the Cask Ales Festival or something? And they said, yeah, hell yeah, come on down, we'll get you a cask. We were like, really? Awesome.
I was just around, but you're going to take this seriously.
He
That's
said
fine.
yes. So we got really excited, and we put a couple of casks together. I remember, and I always say this, and Tim's going to be mad because I always remind him of this, but we didn't breathe one of our casks properly, and it blew up in our basement. So there was this, beer everywhere. It was I think it was the IPA, and it was there's beer everywhere, and still to this day, like when I move certain things in the basement, I can still see like the littlest splatter from that, like 2011. I'm like, wow. I'm like,
That really got everywhere.
it really did. Like it was just wow. But so we did that. And when we, we're at the festival, and people are trying the beer, and they're going crazy for the beer. They're like, this is delicious. Who the f- are
Do you remember what year
guys?
that was? Because
That
I've been
was
to a lot of them. And I'm trying to think.
2011.
I might have been to that one.
Yes, I remember.
I was at the one I remember most distinctly. There's a lot I don't remember.
yes.
Was the one Montauk? It was their first time,
Oh, okay.
and they did driftwood with actual burnt driftwood.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's probably like
you'd think
2012,
that sounds
2013,
great.
maybe.
Probably sounds good.
It sounded good on paper. I had to taste it. It tasted like I ate campfire, and that's cool. But it was a little too sharp, and it was a little too dark. But
I was
other than
gonna
that,
say,
I mean,
I've had that burnt flavor fall into my beer, and it didn't taste that good.
yeah,
so.
it's cool to have that smoke. Like I get the smoky concept, but when you put too much of that, and then it's too sharp, and it tastes like you're chewing on charcoal. But that was the one I most distinctly remember. But I've been to a number of them, so
Yeah, that was the best. We had gone to many of them. Like I think starting in 2008 was my first one. Yeah, and then I think we went up until the buyout. Yes, I think it was like 2012.
So what did you
2013.
end up pouring that day? Do you remember?
We had Useful Idiot, which was like ended up being like one of our first like flagships.
It's a great name.
It's a great name. And it's actually so funny. Like I feel like we came full circle. Last night I'm watching Homeland, and the name of the
That's
episode.
the-
No,
is
no
Yes,
spoilers.
that's right.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I was.
No, I'm
no,
just
I'm not.
kidding. I worked last night, too.
Oh, all right.
And we watch it
I
tonight.
haven't
Now
watched any of it yet.
Christina's pissed at me.
So
My wife's
good.
pissed at me because
a big one.
I'm doing this tonight, and then tomorrow we can't watch it either for some odd and unusual reason. Oh, I have open house at my school, and then Wednesday. So it's gonna be like Thursday or Friday, and she's already gotten spoiled. She said, "I'm like, God damn it."
Just don't go on the
No,
internet
let me
at all.
tell you.
No, I can't.
Let me
I
tell
can't.
you.
I don't even watch
I've
TV.
learned this a long time ago with my wife. She watches it with me,
Yeah.
but she's watched it already.
Right. She's like, "No,
She
watch
just
this.
keeps
Look
it
with
quiet.
Right.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't see.
She
this.
keeps it under
Right.
wraps. I think I've done that once back in the days of 24. I would watch that and I go, "Oh yeah, we didn't catch that episode." I know I totally watched it. Sorry,
out there.
totally watched that episode. And I'd like bring up like, yeah, I think like Tony, he's got to be the guy. And she's like, "No, there's no way it's Tony." I'm like, "I don't know, it's just a theory. It could be Tony."
the
And
way
all
you
of a sudden
looked
it's
at
Tony.
the
She's
scene.
like, "How did you know?" I go, I can see things.
Get in the writer's head.
Yeah, Tony.
24 was such a great show. Oh my god.
So the collective itself, how many members are there currently?
Currently, there's 6. When we first started out, when we changed from homebrew club to actual business, we were 9.
Okay.
And we got a couple. It progressed throughout the years, and then our current lineup is 6, and it's been 6 for several years.
Now, as part of being in the collective, do you have financial obligations to the collective? Like, how does, and I'm not trying, don't give me numbers, but just business-wise, how does that all work? Does everyone
Right.
share in the profits, and how do they
Yes.
get in? Can they become a member? Is it something where they'd have to? At this point, it's like a very tight, group. I would assume.
Well, I'll say this:
6
we're,
is the
we're,
max,
yeah,
I
we're
think.
6 now. We'll never be more than 6 again.
Okay.
We'll likely maybe one day be less than 6.
So
Who knows?
9
I mean, I
didn't
don't
work
wanna-
out, obviously. So
Well,
what was
yeah, it would have worked out.
things that could have happened?
Personal things.
Oh,
like,
so like things
It-
came up in their life.
career
Their
moves,
life
of starting a
couldn't
family,
progress with
Yeah.
what we were doing,
Yes.
and
Okay.
they decided that their path wasn't with us.
Right, right.
Well, true, yeah, because I mean, it's not only is it a financial obligation, it's a time obligation.
And
Yo,
not
I
that they're
would
not all
imagine not a
friends
small
still
one.
because
Yeah.
everybody's still
And
friends.
no one's ever
so
parted on
yeah.
because like, hey,
That's
you're
good.
an
It was a
asshole,
mutual
no.
thing.
It was-
Just
yeah.
they can't devote
Life,
that much
yeah,
of that time.
no,
They
absolutely.
had other things going on in their life, and at that point, that's what they were focusing on.
I guess that my question earlier was going to be, so you guys, when you were spending time brewing before you became a business, there had to be a lot of money invested in all that. It had to be a lot of
Yeah, we
time and
started,
money. And what were people doing for jobs? And
Well, yeah,
We
at
all
let's-
21,
have
I
jobs.
had
everybody works full time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is our side.
Still,
hustle,
to this
you know,
time.
to
it's
this
nice,
day,
to this
we
day,
all
yeah,
have a
just
job
one hell
that
of
we
a
go
side
to
hustle.
Monday through Friday.
Very
okay.
expensive side hustle.
How do you manage all that? And
It's a lot.
And the kids, yeah.
And the kids.
I mean, I
yeah.
bartend. I have a full-time job, and I bartend 2 nights a week, and I want to kill myself.
It's
I'm-
exhausting.
it's
Yeah.
too
Well,
much.
I mean,
I work
I'm-
from home 5 days a week, and I have this, and I'm like,
I envy you.
no, I'm not doing
This is
enough.
too much for me.
I'm doing enough.
I envy you.
He works in his shorts.
I would be
Oh.
drinking beer all day. That would
Uh,
be my problem.
There's a kegerator like 5 steps away from my desk.
Yeah,
Now
that's
you're-
it.
now
I'd
you're
have the
talking.
hose hooked up to right next to my bed.
Yeah, just
I'd have the shakes by noon.
Nice. No, it's
Just saying.
it's not easy. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
it's a lot of
you're
time.
yeah, you're constantly going. I mean, I'm so happy to be home with my girls during the week. I mean, they're at school, but when they're home, because I mean, come Friday, I'm at the tasting room. Like I'll do 24 hours in 2 days. Like it's just always there. And Tim's at the brewery. 3-4 nights a week. All the guys are at the brewery at
So
night.
you guys, do you guys hire bartenders? Or you guys bartending yourself? How
We
are
bartend
you?
ourselves.
Yeah.
We do have a
She
few
served me on
people-
Friday.
Yeah, I
Nice.
sure did.
Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah, no, it was good. And we do have a few beer tenders helping us out.
Okay, good.
And that's just a very recent addition, actually. So
Well, just because you guys would like to take at least one
yeah, it's
Saturday
nice
to
to have
yourself.
Actually,
like,
at the
yeah.
point when we moved into the when we decided we were going to move into the new tasting room, someone had to build it, so I took on that lead.
told
I
us
was,
built the whole
I was
thing.
me and Sarah running the tasting room
Yeah.
pretty
Okay.
much.
We were Friday night buddies.
Yeah. So
Yeah. forever.
Friday
like,
night. Yeah, they were fun. They were great.
I was like, I felt like it was
honestly,
like empty
I
in my
missed
heart
them
when
to
he
this
wasn't there.
day, so I'm looking to get back.
Yes.
Building it out took me a couple months. We started in
Which would
November.
have taken an average person
So,
a year. It took him a
From
couple
what I
months.
saw,
Yeah,
did the bar move at that point, or was that
no,
that
that
stayed?
we were on the opposite side of the building,
Okay.
Yeah.
so that's a whole new space. That was
Gotcha.
actually all offices. So what I did was I came in with my machinery and knocked down some walls
Okay.
and brought in a little mini excavator and knocked the entire place down in a day. Had it all cleaned out and a
It was
blank
sight to
canvas.
behold.
Demo work is fun, isn't it?
There's a little video
I'm
on
a
our
builder
Instagram. You
by
can actually
trade.
see
I'm
it,
a
yeah.
builder,
Okay.
during the day. So I build big homes
so
in
that
the
was- yeah.
Hamptons. So I
Nice.
I have all the resources.
Well,
at
that
my
was easy enough to
fingertips.
find someone to do that for you.
Yeah.
I always say that.
It
I'm like,
wasn't
I'm like,
very-
Mike's the best thing that ever happened to the Brewers
Yeah.
Collective. He's literally worth his weight in gold.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, that's true. I mean,
Pulling your weight. Anybody not
lot of
pulling their
gold.
weight, just talk to Mike real quick. He can
seriously.
knock down
No,
the whole
I mean,
building next
really
door.
though, I mean, it's so much so that like we had our other people that have businesses in the building, like they go, yo, listen, I just want to tell you that like your guy Mike, man, like he just like I think that guy gets more done before 9 o'clock than I get done in a week, like for real.
That's why you
Like,
need the vacation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he needed that vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. 2 weeks off, I'll tell you. It's definitely
Now
deserved.
back to reality. You're
Yeah,
gonna have like
yeah.
a vacation hangover for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all right though. I'm ready to go back to work. I'm
So
a
what about
worker,
the-
that's what I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
I hear you. I can't
I
stop
can,
either.
yeah, I can
Just-
go 24 hours a day and not think about rest.
No,
So
but
what are
I'm
the,
on a mission. I'm there.
The profiles of the other people
Right.
in the thing. So you have you and your husband.
Yeah, so my husband Tim and I and Mike, and then
And
we
Mike.
have Mike, and then we have Mikey, who's little Mike, big Mike. We have Terry.
You wouldn't get little Mike. It'd be much better.
Honestly, if it
Mike
wasn't
was
for
little
little
Mike.
Mike, Big Mike wouldn't even be
Yeah,
here.
they're like
It would just be
yeah,
Mike.
Yeah,
I've
they're
known
like
Mike
bros
since
forever,
I'm like
so.
17,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
me and him.
And then we got Terry, who's I call him my beer dad. And then we have Jason.
Okay.
And so Terry and Mikey both work with Tim. They all work at the same internet service. It's like a managed land
Okay.
type.
And they all
place.
met there, I would assume. Then.
Yeah, right. And for like a long time they'd known each other. And a few of the other guys that were our founders also worked at the same place.
Okay.
But to your point.
So this was like a business. A workplace kind of concept.
Well,
where you're
most
sitting
of the
around
members came from the workplace, yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, cause it's like they're all really good at what they do during the day. So like, there's sometimes some downtime, you know. Like my husband's a Unix administrator, so like, I mean, that stuff has like up times of like one server was up for 6 years without a single.
Jesus.
Very stable, you know, back
Yeah.
end stuff. And usually people that do the things that my husband does, they're in like a back corner with like very long beards and dark lighting. So he's sort of unique in that way. And,
Those are my people.
Yes. That's where I live.
yes. But like, I mean, they have like serious clients. Like they have like Lufthansa and like other. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Anyway, it's okay. But
We'll bleep it out if you want me to later.
No, it's fine. It's okay. But like, so yeah, they so they would talk a lot and do that a lot there. But to answer your question from before, like we are like a true collective. There's 6 of us. We've all paid dues like since the beginning. That's how we sort of built up our initial funding, like to buy merch and equipment for festivals and our festival kit
Right.
and all that stuff. And you know, we continued on until we went, you know, professional. And then you know, obviously we make money now, so you know.
So how long from the moment of inception to the moment of actually making money on doing this?
Right. So we incorporated in 2012. We got our liquor license in 2014. We launched commercially in 2015, and I would say by 2017 we were making money. I mean, like, because when, yeah, I mean, because what happened was you know, we poured at the festival. We caught that bug. Like, holy shit! Like, there is no drug in the world that gives you as good a high as it is playing at a pouring at a festival and getting real feedback from people. And people go crazy for your beer. We were the first ones to kick our cask that year.
Nice.
Got up on the table, shook the thing. It was just like, oh my god, like what dreams are made out of. Yeah. And then we caught the bug. They were like, and we like went with Starfish Junction, who does like the Belmont Fest and Nassau and all that. And it just kept getting crazier and crazier. We were like notorious. We're like these, you know, just big group of people all dressed in like red and black and white, and like, and no one knew what to make of us. Like, who the are these guys? And
This,
you know,
the Soviets are coming.
yeah, these commie bastards walking around. And then the logo is very memorable. You know, beer bottle
Absolutely.
and sickle, and you know, stands out. You know, it's a poppin' logo. So, you know, we became notorious. Like we used to bring like this crazy one-off shit because we were a homebrew club at first. So like we had tons of like weird ass sours and like other experimental brews and stuff like that. So started to build a name for ourselves. And then like we sort of started to explore like what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? Are we going to contract brew? You know, at the time, like, it was prohibitively expensive to try to even attain a brick and mortar on the island. You know, there were not that many, like, in just like 2013, we started really looking into it. And then as luck would have it, there's this guy in Farmingdale, he owned this place called The Taste of Long Island.
Oh, yeah, right on Main Street. I live in Farmingdale. Yeah,
oh, nice. Okay,
a bunch of places started in there.
Oh, they sure did. Yeah, Farmingdale seems to be like the starting place of all things craft beer. But so he was like, I'm looking for 2 or 3 startup breweries that want to come in and retrofit this existing commercial kitchen into a micro brew house, he called it.
Was it Lithology started down there in 1940s?
Yeah, it was us. Initially, it was us, 1940s, Po' Boy.
Yes.
Yep, and then
Tweaking Frog came in there at one point.
Yes, they came in a little toward so like,
Flying Belgian, I think.
Yes, Flying Belgian.
You
Yep.
still look them up. They're still literally on the
They're
Google
guest
map.
taps on
Lithology.
Lithology.
Oh, good, yeah. And they're building a brewery with Long Beach Brewing Company.
Oh, they are
in Oceanside.
Yeah. I saw the
yeah.
pouring concrete at that new place they're
Yes,
doing.
yeah. They're trucking along. They're gonna be.
They got their tap handles all sprayed up and everything.
Hell yeah, yeah. It was good. They're good dudes. We were talking to them at the Long Island Craft Beer meeting. But
and they have the glassware, that very distinct glassware that they.
The fish.
No, it's the style of the glass.
Pilsner
very
glass?
much like what Dogfish did. It's got the really blooming top, but like a very. I'll look it up later. I forget the name of the glass, but it's very unique. So you kind of get it from that too.
Yeah.
That's what connected with me.
glass, is that it?
No, it's not taco.
Taco.
No, not that one either. I'll think of it later.
Yeah. No, but
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all good.
Yeah, a lot of them came out of that area.
Yeah. So it took us like a year or two to build out that place. It was like a dungeon in the bottom, and we had to we ripped it all out, asbestos included, and and we sort of because like the storefront was good for like the tasting room and for like the brewing area. Like so the guy Jim who owned it, he bought all the equipment as far as like the boil goes and everything that you would use. But as soon as you pumped down into the fermenter, all that equipment was yours. And the way that it worked was like you rented shifts. So like for like 6 hours or 8 hours. It was your brewery. It was technically called an alternating proprietorship.
Okay.
And so we.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, exactly. And
How do you put that down on your taxes?
It was actually
think there's a
I do the
spot for that
taxes. They
there.
were very complex, actually.
Jesus.
So we did that for a spell. Like I think it took about a year to actually retrofit it and turn it into a legit brewery and get the licensing. So we launched in early 2015. We did our launch party at the Nutty Irishman in
Nice.
Farmingdale because that was the only place that was big enough to hold all 3 of us. 4 of us, I guess technically, and that was good. And then. We focused then, our goal was to get as many commercial and wholesale accounts as possible. We wanted to be in a bunch of different restaurants and bars, get all the different brews that we had been working on. We took really like the best recipes from our homebrew days and brought them into commercial, territory. And it was a huge success. Everyone loved the beer. It was really easy to maintain accounts. And I think we brewed there for about a year. And then actually that's when Mike came out at the end of August, like May of 2015, I would say. And and then it was like, all right, well, I think it's time. I think we can do this. So then we found a place in Bayshore, signed that lease in the end of 2015, and then we were in construction in the new place for the first brewery in Bayshore for about a little over a year.
It was a little more than a year and a half.
Yeah.
And at that time, you still
To get the town to give us the prop because we got to change use of the building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the whole thing.
Right, I'm a part of
From
the building.
industrial
so-
to commercial.
Yeah.
And from industrial.
It was light industrial.
Light
to,
Industrial
to retail. Right?
industrial 2 would retail. Industrial 1 would retail.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were still like brewing at.
No, we had
No,
to stop.
We
it
pulled
was
out.
heartbreaking. It was like
Yeah.
because like you had to it was like a point where you sign on to be there for another year.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, well, we're not going to do both. So and then at that point, it was almost like we were the first class of Stay by the Bell, and then the new class came in that was lithology and tweaking frog and all that. And then I think that place actually ended up going. The guy wanted out of the business.
Yep,
and
and
lithology.
now it's just lithology,
Yeah,
right.
they took over the lease, and good for them. And they actually opened up. I think within a year of us leaving, they were there.
Yeah, they were open.
They went through a big
a
refit.
couple
They
months.
changed.
They changed the name and
We were
that's
there
right.
within the first few months of the brewery opening.
But before
when
they
we went.
changed it open, yeah.
Which was
they-
2015.
Yep.
Yeah.
I work at the meatball place across the street.
Oh,
that's
shit,
that's my
okay,
Sunday night
nice.
place.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I have
So
not
that's
been
where
to
I
the
was
one in
last night.
Farmingdale, only the one in Patchogue.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
good place.
I walked by it on Saturday night and said, nope. Nope, that's why I don't work there on Friday and Saturday nights. I'm not 22 anymore.
Oh my God.
And I'm not going to go woo on the bar. Nope.
It is a No,
Where's
it's
the
Our
Tito's
shit
at?
show. It is
it
a
is
shit
a shit show. It is
Oh,
not
man.
for me anymore. That's I'm too old.
That's
for
we
that.
stayed away from that on St. Patrick's Day too.
Yeah, and
Oh, my.
Pete and I went out in Farmingdale with our
Nice.
wives on St. Patrick's Day, and we just stayed clear of the high traffic areas.
saw some guy get into a fight with an Uber driver.
Yeah.
It was
A couple accidents,
Nice.
police
like
everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny.
anymore.
Like
Control.
we were picking out towns to do Long Island Craft Beer Week, and Farmingdale like one for Nassau. Like it was like it's like Farmingdale and Patchogue. We're gonna do it, for
Yeah.
the two like town takeovers. So, yeah, that's
We're looking
cool.
forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we're trying to get in on that somehow, some way. We got a couple of spokespeople for us now,
Great.
so hopefully we can get in there. We might do a live broadcast from one of those spots.
Absolutely, come
Be
come
awesome.
broadcast at the brewery.
Yeah,
It'd be fun.
that's a thought too. We
Yeah,
might
why not?
actually consider that as well. We're not gonna be able to just lift this whole table out
No,
and come with us,
probably
but
not,
we'll have a
yeah.
little bit of a slimmed down setup. But we
Yeah,
could
like
actually do
satellite
that.
setup. It's
Good thing is we have some promotional banners and stuff like that.
Yes.
We're not going to be unnamed, like
Nope.
just some dudes at a table with some microphones in front of them. So, and we'll have some giveaway stuff hopefully. So we'll put all that together in the next few weeks and see how the rest of it goes.
That's awesome.
But that's going to be exciting. Craft Beer Week on Long Island is,
Yeah.
is bigger and bigger every single
Every
year.
year.
Every year there's new names on the list. Every year there's something new to be excited about. You guys are expanding in the last year or two, and
It's been it's a good time to be in beer. That is for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, craft beer
How
on
many members are in the guild now? On Long
gosh.
Island.
I don't know how many people are like active, like chartered members, but I mean, there's 42 breweries active on the
Yeah,
island
dude.
now.
Yeah.
41, and there's a number of them that are in planning and that are about to,
Right.
oh yeah. So I would
did
imagine
James
by next
Port
year
get in there
they're
finally?
open.
They're
Yep,
in.
yep, they're fully open. I think they opened maybe last year.
You got Seaford, Long Beach. These are up
Small
and coming.
craft just opened.
Small craft just
open.
opened.
Yep.
Root and Branch is looking for somewhere.
Yes.
Well, I think they like being I mean, from
They're
what I
gypsy
read,
brewing
they
right now.
like
Yeah.
doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They like being like here and there and everywhere. Like no one sees who they are. Sneak in, brew, run out.
Yeah, they did
kinda
a
like
release
that,
at Great South Bay, like right up the street from us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually, I got to try some of the cans because people were at the release. And
Well,
they
did you
came to
see what
ours.
happened?
I
Did you see the
did.
release? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So tell me about that process,
Yeah.
because and tell Pete what had happened, because I read the post and I went, I never thought about that because most of the canning process and these guys are almost flawless. I've never really gotten a bad can.
Well, yeah, I mean, we actually don't have a lot of experience with the mobile canning line yet. We're not quite at that level. Like we have an October
canner.
October canner.
Okay.
So
So
we do it
can
like
16 ounces on site.
Okay.
at a
Yeah.
time. Like it's like the same like kind of how you do a crowler. It's the same kind of technology. So
Right.
we purchase a can with CO2 and sanitized can with CO2, and then we fill it up, cap it, seal it, label it. And it's a bit of a slower process, but you're
Yeah.
getting it fresh from the taps. What they were doing is they're doing like I guess 30 barrels at a time, so much bigger setup, and they're going right from their bright tank, pumping that straight into cans with a big old mobile canning line, and there's a
It was
lot of
Maltman,
inside.
I would
love to
Maltman,
see
I
that.
believe so.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it
I
was
think that's who
Maltman.
they
I'd love to
used.
see
And
that
that's
process.
who
That's gotta
I
It's
be-
really cool.
Isn't that who Dan used? Was Dan
Yes.
using Maltman?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, he never had
And
anything
Steve,
to say.
too.
Oh yeah, Steve was doing that
Yeah.
too.
Most of the
From
guys
Barrage,
do it.
yeah.
Dubco uses Maltman also.
Yeah.
And Mustache for that matter. Yeah.
Jeez, yeah. So they're
yeah,
busy.
Yeah, no, they are. Yeah. No,
Jeez.
they're really good, and we've heard like really good things about them. But I think what happened in that case was there might have been a slight oxidation
Right.
issue. So I guess.
So what does that mean to the beer?
So like you don't want oxygen to touch your beer like before it's sealed in a can. Like it's either in a keg or in a can or in whatever vessel. As it gets oxygenated, it's going to rapidly spoil and deteriorate the quality of the beer. So like you could see in that post, like they were showing like even the differentiation in color.
Right.
That
Yeah,
has
yeah.
to do with the oxidation.
One was a nice gold, and the other one turned a little orange and
Right.
dark brown, and
so
it
that's
started
like chemical reaction.
Right.
That's some getting into some chemistry that I don't get. But that's more of a Tim question. But that
That's
happened.
interesting. Like I haven't seen anyone, at least on Long Island, post anything or claim that has happened to their thing. I'm sure everyone quality controls.
Yeah, I mean it happens. Like I know like Port Jeff had an issue a few years back with I think one of their stouts or something like that, and it's happening. It's just part of the business,
It happens.
But like the breweries here that I've seen, they all do the right thing. They're like,
Right.
hey, listen, you have an infected can, or if that's not to your liking, email us. We'll hook you up, no problem. It ain't like that,
Yeah.
So. Like I'm sure if it was a big old scale, like if like other half had like a problem or something with their can, that'd probably be a big deal.
Can you imagine?
But
The internet would explode.
pretty much, yeah.
The beer trading explode. Oh my God, I'm in Pennsylvania. I got other half, and now I told
Stood
Brown.
online for 7 hours.
Oh.
My beer sucks.
F that. F that.
But So yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, no, but
Awesome.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take a break, And we're going to open up some beer
All right.
because we spent 40 minutes without a taste of beer in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm all
I'm
parched
starting to
and
shake.
stuff.
I just left the brewery, so
Yeah,
I got like 6
you
beers.
just
Yeah, nice.
filling it in there.
This guy was, double fisted before we got in.
You got him in.
Jealous.
All right, we'll come
All
right
right, back in a
back
bit. Okay.
with more. This is the Wort with Mike and Pete. We're here with Sarah, Mike, and Chris. Sarah and Mike from the Brewers Collective. Give us a call on our next segment. We'll talk to you, 516-465-3990 or 516-513-0515. If you have a pen, write it down. If you don't, I'm going to try to get some graphics up on our YouTube stream and put the phone number and the links up there. And also, we're always streaming on govsradio.com, here, now, and forever.
Govs Radio.
This is the Wort on Govs Radio.